Hello! I realize that you guys don't really know much about me. And that is to be expected because I came out of nowhere. So I was thinking about doing a tag, but I haven't been tagged because I don't really know anybody. So I figured I would just tell you guys some extremely personal stories about me because sharing personal information is what the internet's all about. You can't delete your past on the internet, and that's beautiful. We can just immortalize our embarrassing experiences. How about that? Ha! So my first job was a child model. It's kind of a weird job, but it lasted from the 5th grade to the 8th grade. And I wasn't very good at it. I wasn't very good at taking direction, and if someone told me to like put my arm around some guy, I'd be like, "Ugh!" Like, no, I don't want to. There was one instance where someone told me to like say the cameraman was super sexy and I was 12, so I was like, no, because like I felt like sexy was a bad word, I didn't want to say it. And so I applied for my second job, which was at Dairy Queen when I was 14 years old. When I was applying for Dairy Queen, I was like, Dad, like I don't have any experience, but I really want this job, like what do I do? My dad was like, well, Cassie, you put that you were a model on your resume, what could go wrong there? And I was like, you're totally right, Dad, I'm gonna do that. So I go to Dairy Queen, I hand in this resume that says like, Cassie, model. All the girls there were like, who does this girl think she is? I should have realized that that is the way they would have taken it from the beginning, so they gave me a really hard time about it. I put modeling on my resume despite the fact that it has nothing to do with dipping cones in a vat of chocolate and dropping food on the floor and then serving it to customers. The girls are really mean, like really mean, and they basically always told me every day that I act so much prettier than I am when really I just showed up in my oversized shirt and was like, well like, you know, what do I do here? And I ended up just literally hiding in the freezer the whole time eating brownie batter. It wasn't in my job description to do a lot of the things that they were forcing me to do, so I basically stopped showing up. I couldn't take the constant berating anymore. I'm kind of glad that I didn't pursue the whole modeling path. I don't really think it was for me, but at the same time, everyone kind of told me it wasn't for me, and that's partially what fueled my decision to leave it forever. If you ever do something like really different, people are gonna berate you for it, but everything you focus on will grow. So just keep focusing on those things, and then all of a sudden what you're doing will become bigger than the people who are insulting you. I actually gained 20 pounds due to bullying for how skinny I was, so just please don't listen to what other people say. It's not good for you. I wore my heart on my sleeve my entire life, and people thought that that was an asset. It's not. Keep your good friends close and tell everyone else to fuck off. They're gonna talk shit about you no matter what. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And now that I'm out of high school, I know that it doesn't matter. And it's hard to ignore bullshit in high school, but just try. Just try. Okay? I love you. Just try. Yeah, it was my first 2 jobs. Let's move on. Personal story number 2. I was a bad kid with good grades when I was little. I'm not sure why. I just really liked to dissent. I really liked to just be bad. The amount of suspensions I got from grades 1 to 12 was, in my opinion, it was immense. In the 9th grade, I had detention every single Friday for the entire year, and a lot of them I skipped, which resulted in suspensions. And it's not something I recommend. I was just a really curious, weird kid. I really liked to do, I guess, the opposite of what everybody else was doing, but at the same time, I really liked to learn. Teachers always told me that I wouldn't make it anywhere, but a year ago I entered university in scholarship standing, so that was good. Again, don't let people tell you what to do. Just do what you want, make your life your own. I never lost my interest in learning. I guess just the systematic education system wasn't for me, and every time I skipped school, I was always reading or playing guitar or like just doing stuff that I felt was important. Or not, I mean, I did play a lot of video games, but anyways. Isn't this nice? I thought that I might as well tell you guys about the best night of my life, and I shit you not, this is the best night of my life. I was literally laying there going, oh my god, this is the best night of my life. The best night of my life involved me, my cousin, and his 5 friends, and my sister. We were laying in an alley. Yeah, legit. Like, we were laying in an alley on the ground in Singapore, smoking shisha and talking and laughing, and that was up until like 5 a.m. If you don't know what shisha is, it's a mix between molasses and tobacco, and they like put really cool flavors in it. So we had like strawberry and raspberry and lime going on that night. Like we smoked a lot of shisha that night. And I know that I usually promote healthier things, but I believe that if you're visiting another culture, you might as well immerse yourself into that culture. I'm not the kind of person that just sits in a resort like on the beach and goes, this is awesome. Like I'm the kind of person that's like, what are you doing? I want to do it too. Like, how do you guys live? I want to live like that too. And so basically we were just laying in this alley, smoking shisha, drinking, talking, laughing. It was the first time I had seen my cousins since I was 5 years old. So we were all like kind of grown up by then, and my cousin had been admitted into the army and all of his friends, so they were just different. My cousin used to be like this really fun-loving, playful person, and then when I came to visit him the second time, he was this very stern and kind of just uptight guy because he, I don't know, I guess just the weight of the world really kind of took a toll on him. So he was just letting loose that night, and I was letting loose that night, and like that whole night kind of just made me forget about every shitty thing that was going on in Canada because I was going through a lot of stuff at that time. It was one of those moments where I was actually so happy that I cried, which is kind of weird. But it does happen. I only heard of it on TV before that. Greatest night ever. Singapore is an amazing place. I encourage you to visit there if you can. Not many people can because it's kind of expensive. It's easier for me because I have cousins there, so it's cheaper. But, moving on. I don't want to be one of those girls that's like, oh my god, like I play video games, like I'm the 1%. I legit wasted my entire childhood playing video games. Like it got to the point where my brother's friends were like, is that all she ever does? Like it was all I ever did. Diablo, Halo, StarCraft, Zelda, Prince of Persia, like pretty much every Xbox game that came out when I was in middle school, I was obsessed with. It got to a point where I actually would lie to my friends. Cassie, like, come on, let's go to the mall. Yeah, I'm grounded. I made a lot of friends on video games, and I kind of got my really, really dark sense of humor from video games because you have a bunch of young guys on there who make all of these inappropriate jokes that I just found hilarious. That was my childhood. I wouldn't really consider the times I had with girls as my childhood. I would consider it the times I had with my friends online. You guys are kind of like my friends online now. The first time I realized that I had a thing for beauty, I was like around 4 or 5. I was watching TV and this music video came on. It was Don't Speak by No Doubt. Gwen Stefani was kind of posing with this peach, and she had like this bright blonde hair, and she had her eyeliner done, her mascara, these bright red lips, and that massive diamond necklace, and she was like posing with it, and I was like, whoa, like that's something. Me and my sister sat in front of the TV all day waiting for it to come on because it was before YouTube's time. I couldn't really Google it. Lucky for us, it was on high rotation, so it came on a lot, and every time we'd be like, oh my god, the pretty girl's on! And we would just kind of sit there and just adore her beauty. It was kind of innate what we defined as beauty. We just saw Gwen Stefani and we were like, yeah, And I'll link it in the bottom bar, the frame I was talking about. 5 is my favorite number because it's the year when I really found myself, I think. When I was around 5 years old, my dad gave me all of these poetry books. He forced me to read a lot of poetry, and I thank him for it now. I hated him for it before, but I read all of these novels like this thick, literally, full of poetry. I was able to read at a very young age. There was one poem in particular that really, really stood out to me. I just read it over and over again, and I just thought like the words were beautiful. I didn't really understand what they meant and why. It's kind of like the Gwen Stefani thing. I didn't think about it. Like the moment I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is, yeah. Now that I'm older, the meaning I attach to it is very, very personal. It's about this guy, and he wants to just hide and be in these dark woods and kind of just remain in obscurity. I'm naturally an introvert, so that's naturally what I want to do, but this guy has duties. He's got promises to keep. He's got to keep going, and my entire life I've had to crawl out of my shell, and I have to keep trucking. I have duties. So that's what I got out of that. You should check that poem out if you want. It's called Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. It's a good one. I'll link it. And that is all. That's all my personal facts. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you have any other questions to ask me. I actually haven't really touched on the basics about me, so maybe you want me to share those. I don't know. Let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you soon.